guys, welcome back to Rusty Autoholic Garage 2019. So sorry I've been gone for about a month, but between the holidays, family, and work, also waiting on a lot of parts, I really had nothing to do on Project Felicity. However, this past week I started getting some parts in, and this weekend I'm really hoping to get a lot done. The most important piece I got in was the new motor mount plate for the Kubota V2403. It's actually right here. Yeah, it's this hunkin' heavy thing, but this is going to allow me to mount the engine about 6 inches forward in the engine bay. But as you can see, the shop's a mess. Now I did move the Wrangler, haven't worked on it. I actually sold the 4.0, so that's why the Wrangler's turned this way, was so I could get the 4.0 out of the shop. So I'm actually going to spend the next hour or so just reorganizing the shop so I can get to everything. But the goals for today are to get the Kubota V2403 mounted into Project Felicity. Hey guys, so I've got the shop rearranged. I've got the Wrangler back where I want it. So we're going to be working on the V2403 today, specifically getting the motor mount plates welded up and installed into the Wrangler. So this is going to be a multi-step process. So this is the motor mount plate. It's actually going to kind of go on about like that, and I'll show more details. But we actually have a couple of support tabs put in here, which I've got the box of them over here. And it's these little pieces, and they go in the various holes like this. And then we have, like that. And then we have the motor mounts itself, and they go on about like that. So I'm going to tack weld all of this. I'm not going to just burn it in first. I'm probably going to tack, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I'm going to mount it onto the engine, and then I'm going to put it in the engine bay and see how it works. The other thing we're going to be installing, and I got this, I hadn't shown it yet, I decided to go with a different motor mount. So this is a motor mount from Brown Dog Offroad, and these are a super flexible rubber bushing. And what I like about these is made in America, but they are replaceable. I don't have to buy the whole mount again. I can just buy this bushing piece. And the reason why I decided to do this is I wanted to take as much of the vibration of the diesel as I could out before it hit the frame and started rattling everything. I've watched a lot of videos where these Kubota swaps have been done. Admittedly, they were done on older Jeeps like CJ2As and 3As and 3Bs. And you watch the videos, they drive great. But as the guy's walking up to the video, the whole Jeep is just shaking like crazy. And I really don't want that. I want this to be as quiet and smooth as possible. So I got these. These are supposed to be super flexible, and they're supposed to really cut down on engine vibration. So I decided to go with this. I like the design better, American made, replaceable bushing, and I'll post the part number and description down below. I specifically got these for an XJ Cherokee. Obviously this is a TJ Wrangler, but the reason why I went with the XJ Cherokee is the motor mount plate setup I got from Kubota Swappers is set up for an XJ Cherokee. So he had sent me the motor mounts that I had already installed in a previous episode, and those were for an XJ Cherokee and everything fit. So my logic was, since everything was designed for an XJ Cherokee, might as well go with an XJ Cherokee setup and everything should work. But we'll be finding that out today. Hopefully I can use these. If not, I will modify them so I can use them, because I really like these. But anyway, the only other disclaimer I want to give on this whole project, I have a Lincoln MIG welder. It does not have gas. So the big disclaimer here is, I am not a welder. I'm a hobbyist. This is not my job. This is what I do for fun. This is not going to be like those beautiful dimes welds that you see on a lot of car shows. This is a flux core welder. It's not going to be pretty, but it's going to be strong. I'm good enough to know how to make it penetrate and make sure everything's going to be strong. And that's really the only thing I'm going for. This is a budget build. I don't have the money for a really nice gas welder. I don't even have the money for the gas. Kind of spend it all on this stuff here that you see. So anyway, let me get the time lapse set up and let's get started. Hey guys, I don't normally do this in the middle of a video, but this has been a little bit of a crazy day. So, just a quick recap. Went to move the engine, almost knocked the engine off the dolly. That was fun. Got the engine on the hoist, did all that. Cut a hole in the, what would normally be the driver's side, but for me it's the passenger side motor mount plate. So the oil feed line doesn't have an interference issue. Truthfully, I could have done that a lot better, but it works, and that's all I'm really worried about at the moment. So the other major thing was, I am so glad I decided to tack weld all these plates together and test fit them. I really don't know how I missed this when I test fitted the engine a couple episodes ago. And it was about a month and a half ago now. I thought everything lined up. and I'm sure as you saw in the footage, I couldn't get it to line up. Like, one motor mount was way off. And what I've discovered on a TJ Wrangler, and I can't say this for all TJ Wranglers because mine's right-hand drive, but I have a feeling this is how it is on all TJ Wranglers. The driver's side on a normal vehicle, the motor mount is exactly 2 inches forward of the passenger side. And I didn't know that. So I tack welded all this, tried test fitting it, it didn't work. So, in trying to twist it to get into place, I broke these welds, which is fine, because I'm actually having to, ooh, I need to cut that and redo that. That's a horrible, I've screwed those two up. So, anyway, learning lessons here. What I needed to do, I had this almost flush with the plate back here. This is, for me, the driver's side, but this would be the passenger side plate that's going to have the AC compressor and the vacuum pump, so I have power brakes and all that jazz. So I had it flush mount like this, and after doing all the measurements and figuring out what's going on, I'm now going to move it forward like this, so that the edge of this plate is exactly 6 1/16 of an inch distance. And I realize that seems a little bit odd, but the reason for it is now this, which would normally be, again, the driver's side, but on my Jeep, because it's right-hand drive, is the passenger side, I have to rearrange the motor mount plates like this, and this puts this exactly 4 1/16 of an inch back. So I have now compensated for the 2-inch offset. I have confirmed with Kubota swappers and my best friend Ronnie this will work. I was a little bit worried that these triangle pieces were also a support for the motor mount. It's not, so I got real lucky there, and I got very lucky that this motor mount actually fits in between here. So I mean, I got lucky on a multitude of fronts today. So I'm about to go back to the time lapse. We are going to tack weld all of this in again, bolt it back to the motor, trying to get it bolted all in place. If everything bolts in place, it looks good, it looks square. We'll take the motor mount plates back off, and then there is going to be just a ton of welding because I need to make sure this stays in place. So anyway, I'm going to go back to the time lapse, but I just wanted to interrupt the video and give a quick update. This has been an interesting day, let me tell you. So again, let's get back to work. guys, so that's all the work I'm doing for today. It's about 8 o'clock at night now. It's been a very long couple of hours, but we got a lot done. Had a couple of mishaps, and I'm glad I did things the way I did. I'm really glad I just tack welded the motor mount plates. That ended up really saving me. Like I said earlier, apparently both these motor mounts are not the same equal distance. And I'm really not sure how I screwed that up before. That one's still confusing me. And the only thing I can figure is the first time I tried putting the engine in and seeing how the motor mounts would fit, I was just using like vice grips and whatnot to hold it in. So I didn't have the little triangle support tabs on it, nothing to line everything up. I was just clamping and going. So that was a bit of a lesson learned. But thankfully I was able to make it work. I will post pictures for some of the things I had to do. Like I ended up using the build plate, or the what would normally be the driver's side motor mount plate. I ended up putting the motor mount on slightly differently, but it gave me the measurements that I needed, because I needed that side to be 2 inches forward than the other side. So it actually worked out in the end, and it looked really good. I was really happy with the fitment. Everything seems to be going really well. I did leave the motor mounts loose in the engine bay. I want to get the motor mount plates painted. That's the only other thing I might do. My other camera just turned off. In about an hour or so, once this primer dries, because it's a quick drying primer, I might come out here and hit it with the, I'm going to hit it with a Rust-Oleum hammered silver. It's a really nice paint. It goes on quick. It cures quickly. I can let it dry overnight. And tomorrow morning, we can come into the shop. I can pull it down, and I can go ahead and mount everything to the motor and finally have the motor in place. I'm kind of tired of lifting it and lowering it, lifting and lowering it. But yeah, we're making really good progress. The next thing I need to do tomorrow, I do want to see if I can get the transmission bolted, but I have a lot of work to do on the engine first. I actually need to re-torque the crankshaft adapter. I didn't torque those to the right spec. We got to take the turbo off, we got to take the front pulley off, we got to take the water pump pulley off. I mean, we still have a ton of work to go. But just getting the engine mounted in the engine bay is a massive success. The other thing I'd like to do tomorrow, if at all possible, I'm getting a new pigtail harness so I can finally empty... Oh, it's behind the camera. The gas tank. I want to go ahead and get all the gasoline out of the gas tank and pull out the electric fuel pump. We're not even going to run a fuel pump. The V2403 actually has a lift pump that is more than strong enough to pull diesel from the gas tank. So I've got to go pick up that wiring harness tomorrow, and I need to pick up some axle grease as well, just because I want to lubricate the seal into the AW4 when I put the torque converter in. But we're making progress. We're making a lot of good progress. My goal is still to have this kind of done, or at least running and driving by March. So I've kind of got like a month and a week. So I'm not sure how sure that will happen. It probably won't, to be honest with you. A couple of other things that I hadn't mentioned. So I am getting a different transmission controller. I tried going with the Mega Squirts shift tuner, or whatever, it's trans tuner or whatever they call it, because they said the Toyota A340, which is basically what an AW4 is, it's the same transmission as a Toyota Supra. They said it was fully supported, so I bought it. Spent money, bought it, thought it was fully supported. Started digging into the manual and everything and found out as long as you also make A, B, C, and D, it works. And that really frustrated me. So, not going with Mega Squirt. I am now going with CompuShift. It's a plug-and-play system. I can tune the transmission with my smartphone. I can tune it with Windows, Mac, Linux. I'm really excited about it. And I thought it was going to be shipped this month, but I was notified they have made the harness, but they are waiting on a new order of CompuShift computer units themselves to come in. So they said they would ship around February 15th, so that's coming on the 15th. The other thing that I did purchase was I got the Langmuir personal CNC plasma cutting table, the 2 foot by 2 foot plasma cutting table, and that's going to ship in February. And that's actually really important. There are a couple of mounts that I have not figured out that I need to make. Because I'm shelving everything so far forward about 6 inches, I need a new transmission cross member. I need probably a cross member for the 2 transfer cases just because of how much weight there is. And I've been trying to figure out how I was going to do it and everything. And I finally realized between this project and then I'm going to be doing Project Peggy, my 1947 CJ2A next. And that's going to be a crazy build compared to this. This is simple. I'm going to be doing a custom frame, another diesel engine, Kubota V2403, which I have sitting over there in the corner. It's going to be an automatic. I'm looking at doing a Turbo 350 automatic. Don't know on the transfer case right now. I'm kind of debating my options. It really depends on what the new frame allows me to do and where I can put the axles. But anyway, that's still in the planning phases. But anyway, the whole point is because of my CJ2A project and things I still need to do for Project Felicity, the personal plasma cutting table is going to be invaluable. I'll be able to make really nice cross member brackets. What I'm planning on doing is designing the brackets so they hug to the inside of the frame rail, and I'm just going to hook them to either square or round tubing to make it really easy and strong. And we still have a ton of work. I haven't even touched the interior. I still have to figure out the shifter. I still have to figure out the transfer case shifters, the beautiful shifters that I got from JB Fabrications. Again, huge shout out to him. If you haven't checked out his site, please go check it out. He makes fantastic stuff. Again, I did a video on it already. Amazing looking stuff. But I haven't done any of that yet because I really needed the engine in place. I needed the engine bolted. I need the transmission in there before I start figuring out where I'm going to put all the shifters. So we are making progress. The other thing I'm trying to figure out right now is how am I going to hook up all my gauges. I really don't want to run a bunch of new wiring. I'm trying to find a way where I can utilize the current wiring harness that's already there. So that's something I'm also looking into as well. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to be doing another one tomorrow, and hopefully by the end of tomorrow, that Kubota V2403 is going to be permanently mounted in place, and I really hope I don't have to take it out again. So again, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing, and if you had, thank you so much. See you next time.